Let's face it, lots of men don't always take care of themselves as well as they should. That's why Griffin Hospital's Health Initiative for Men was launched back in 2011 to help inspire men to take better care of themselves. Joining me now are Dr. Harold Schwartz, Chief of Gastroenterology at Griffin Hospital, and Frank Michaud, a local businessman who established the Health Initiative for Men Fund, which stands for HiM appropriately.
Exactly.
Frank, tell us a little bit about the fund and what it's all about.
Sure. In 2011, I found out through the American Red Cross there were more incidences of prostate cancer in men than there were incidences of breast cancer in women. And I was very surprised.
Well, that is surprising because you're always hearing about breast cancer in the news and how many women it affects, but this is a bigger problem.
It is. So I contacted Griffin Hospital to see what programs they had, and the Health Initiative for Men was started.
Great. Now, Dr. Schwartz, let me ask you, why do you think men don't really like to go to the doctor?
It's probably just the mindset of most men, that they don't really understand that they need to go to the doctor for preventive medicine or screening. They think that if it doesn't affect their daily life, whether it's because they don't have symptoms, or whether it's because it doesn't affect their employment or activities they do,
so they're just not bothered with it, I guess,
something they just don't have to do. Exactly.
They don't have to think about it.
Most men actually just go through life, and unless they're bothered by their wives or their significant others, they actually often don't go to physicians for their annual checkups or for any screening modalities.
So we're not nagging, we're just helping, right?
Absolutely.
It's important to reinforce how to go to the doctor. What can happen at an annual checkup, even though you don't have any symptoms? Really?
Well, the thing is to be tested, especially if you have a family history of cancer, of prostate or colonoscopy issues, and an annual checkup hopefully will detect something in its early stages, and then it's easily preventable at its early stage.
No, doctor, you see that with colorectal cancer. There are ways to screen that early.
Right. Colon cancer is actually a good example of things that people may not think about as being possible to prevent. And so, hence, men don't tend to go until they're bothered about it.
Sure.
And one of the reasons is because colon cancer, especially in its early stages, has no symptoms. Cancer itself in the colon almost always, more than 90% of the time, starts as a very, very benign precursor lesion called a polyp. And if we are able to remove those polyps, we can prevent cancer from happening.
Is it an unpleasant experience that people might be avoiding, would you say?
There is that fear. There are a lot of misconceptions, I think, and to some degree there's a truth about how having a procedure is not the most wonderful thing in the world, but it probably has been built up beyond what it is. The worst part of it clearly is what's called the prep, which is the day before, where you can only have liquids to drink and where you drink a laxative to be able to clean out the colon. That's changed over the years, and it's really much more acceptable at this point than it had been. The procedure itself, I would say 99% of people who have it look back on it and say, I can't believe that was it. Most people sleep for it.
Wasn't so much a big deal, right?
Really not at all. Really.
At what age do you think men should start thinking about this?
Well, the recommendation for most societies is that colon screening take place at age 50 for both men and women.
Okay.
If there's a family history, it may be earlier on, and that's an individualized case-by-case study. African Americans probably should start in their 40s. 45 is now what's recommended, because cancer starts a little bit earlier in that group.
Okay, that's good advice. Now, Frank, I want to ask you about the Health Initiative again. I know that you and your wife started it, and we have these pretty cool Father's Day cards that are going to play a role. Tell us about this.
Well, the Father's Day card concept was developed through the committee with the marketing department of Griffin Hospital, and their department put together a postcard type Father's Day card last year with a Father's Day message on one side and the Men's Health Tune-Up card on the other side.
Yeah, this is great. In fact, if we can get a picture of it, you open up the card, it's a checklist, which is very handy.
Very handy, yeah.
But now, what are the things we're seeing on that checklist?
Well, it starts with the prostate screening at age 40, the colon screening at age 50. Obviously, you discuss it with your doctor, especially if you have a family history. And then it talks about blood pressure at different ages and other conditions that could be develop both in men and women, but we're keying this in for Men's Health Tune-Up, and that's basically what it is.
And I think it's great that we have two different styles of cards, one maybe for younger kids, one for older kids. How many cards have been distributed, and where can we find them?
Well, right now, most of the cards that are available would be available at Griffin Hospital.
Okay.
The distribution took place starting about a week and a half ago. We had over 16,500 cards that were made up. The small trophy card with the gold trophy was for the grammar school children, pre-K to 6. And then the other card was developed for distribution to the intermediate, middle schools, and the high schools.
Got it. Now I should ask you, why is this so important to you?
I don't know. It's a cause that I feel very comfortable leading, because right now there's nothing out there, at least locally, and I think it's very important for men to get this done. Absolutely.
And there's one more added incentive to take part in all this. There's an iPad giveaway. iPad giveaway, rather.
There is. That's just an incentive to get the children, the students probably, to get to their fathers and say, Dad, we could do this. It's just trying to get them to register with Griffin and become aware that there are health issues that could be handled through the hospital as well as through their own physicians.
And maybe, you know, fathers might listen to it a little more when it comes from their children.
Yeah,
you never know.
We're hoping so, yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Very good. Thank you so much for what you're both doing. And let's put some information up on the screen. Griffin Hospital's Health Initiative for Men, or HiM, is located in Derby. The number is 203-735-7421. Or you can also go to WTNH.com. We'll have all that information for you there.